Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. Even though sports have been canceled for 4 days now, we have real NFL news, Perna. The Ravens traded with the Jaguars to acquire Calais Campbell for a 5th rounder. You know you gotta steal when "for a 5th" is trending on Twitter and it has nothing to do with vodka. Ryan Tannehill will be in Tennessee for the foreseeable future, assuming he's smart enough to not join the masses still partying in downtown Nashville to prove he don't give a shit about passing the virus on to someone who's vulnerable. Now the players passed the new CBA deal on a close vote, and Saints receiver Michael Thomas was not happy about the deal, and he quoted the female porn star union formed in 2008 with the now infamous slogan, "It's time for load management." Let's just hope NFL players get a better deal than they did. Today, I will do my best to momentarily distract all of us from what's happening in the world with NFL, CBA, and player trade extension news. That's good sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I mean, there's a lot more important shit you need to be doing right now, probably, but if you want to subscribe, you can. I do want to thank my sponsor, Manscaped. My promo code TGS20 will get you a 20% discount at Manscaped for the world's best ball trimmers, pube trimmers, groin trimmers. These are designed to trim your groins. Right now, I am very happy they are continuing to sponsor this show for the time being. I've had some sponsors that have left because of everything that's happening right now. And that's totally understandable. I don't need anybody to feel sorry for me. That's not the point. The point is, right now, Manscaped still sponsoring the show. They've been a sponsor here for a long time. I use their products on my ball sack. That is all you need to know. If I trust this thing to be on my balls, then it's gotta be good, right? So again, promo code TGS20, link in the description if you're interested at this time at getting yourselves some pube trimming goods. Maybe they'll use that like in one of their commercials. The least sexy news, offensive lineman extensions. The Colts signed long-haired left tackle Anthony Castonzo to a 2-year, $33 million deal. Castonzo would have been a highly targeted left tackle in free agency, but this keeps him in Indianapolis next to Quentin Nelson, together dominating the left side of that line for Jacoby Brissett or Phillip Rivers or whoever the hell ends up playing QB in Indy. Smart move by Chris Ballard, as usual. The only way I could love Chris Ballard more, though, is if he gets Tom Brady to commit to a 3-year deal in Indy and then rescinds the offer once all other teams have spent all of their cap money for the ultimate Josh McDaniels payback. Please do that, Chris. The Baltimore Ravens defense was good last year, and today they traded a 5th round pick for one of the best defensive ends in the league in Calais Campbell to make them even better. Now the Ravens and Campbell inked a 2-year, $27 million deal with $20 million guaranteed for Calais. Again, a 5th round pick for Campbell is an absolute steal for the Ravens. They also used a 5th rounder to get Marcus Peters last season in the most effective use of pleading the 5th I have ever seen. Now, there have been some silly memes about the coronavirus needing to be quarantined after coming in contact with Gardner Minshew. But let's be honest here. Gardner's going to feel pretty isolated when he throws 5 touchdowns and the Jags still lose by 10. Jalen Ramsey, AJ Boye, and Calais Campbell all gone. Campbell had just 6 sacks last season, a drop from 11, and a drop from 17 the year before, but don't let that fool you. He's still a beast who definitely has a couple good years left in him, especially when the secondary behind him can actually cover like they do in Baltimore. The Jags will have 2 picks in the 1st, 4th, 5th, and 6th rounds, and you could argue are rebuilding for the future. If that's your argument, you have to admit you believe Jacksonville knows how to do that, which is a very dangerous football position to support. The Tennessee Titans reached a new deal with quarterback Ryan Tannehill. He is scheduled to make $29.5 million per year. $62 million of that is fully guaranteed, $91 million totally guaranteed, really showing the new CBA did nothing to make contracts less confusing, with up to $118 million total. This is a 4-year deal that Tannehill earned after leading the Titans to the AFC Championship game. Now, I think most football fans will be pretty split on whether or not Tannehill should have been paid this much money. I think this was the smart move by the Titans, and not just because it saves the world from seeing Tom Brady play behind a tremendous offensive line and having Derrick Henry to hand the ball off to repeatedly until the opposing defenses voluntarily castrate themselves just to make the punishment of trying to tackle Derrick Henry stop. I think Tannehill is a good quarterback, and I think in 2 years we will say, damn, the Titans have a pretty decent deal with Tannehill. This probably allows the Titans the opportunity to franchise tag Derrick Henry to keep him for at least another year. It's so easy to say Tennessee overpaid for an average quarterback, especially in what could be an insane QB free agency market. Yes, Ryan Tannehill has had an average career, but don't forget that was with the fucking Dolphins. In 10 games with Tennessee, he completed 70% of his passes through 21 touchdowns to just 6 picks. Tennessee can win a lot of games if he continues to perform like that. Now, the 49ers have apparently passed on Tom Brady. Now, the Niners were his first choice, so thank you, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. The Patriots do have less than a day to negotiate with Brady exclusively, but at this point, we can probably narrow it down to the Buccaneers, Colts, Raiders, or Chargers, where Tom will go. I just hope whoever it is experiences buyer's remorse worse than that asshole who bought 17,000+ sanitation items to price gouge people when they needed them the most, only to have Amazon and eBay ban his store. Tom Brady is the sanitation gouger of the NFL, and his steady decline in stats should be all the proof you need. Now, I'll conclude with the CBA. I don't think this was the best deal for the players, but if you told me right now I could guarantee my salaries for the rest of the year, even if it was less than what I made last year, I would take that deal in a heartbeat, because I think everyone is a little scared right now about what shutting everything down means for all of our financial futures. Allen Robinson said, "So weak, fam, dudes want to vote out of fear," which I think is true outside of the virus scare. Players were fearful that if they didn't vote this version of the CBA in, and I think 500 players didn't even vote, they were scared because they thought the NFL owners would give them a worse deal if this didn't pass. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, it's extremely fucked up. It is a disgusting example of how greed works and the power the super rich can have, even over the power of the very rich. Take this deal you don't like, or we'll give you an even worse deal. Makes NFL owners sound like the most evil people on earth. And in the weirdest twist of this all, NFL owners may be the only business people who actually benefit from the timing of the coronavirus. Now, the CBA was approved by the players in a 1,019 to 959 vote. The big things to remember with the new CBA are these. First, NFL owners got the 17th game they wanted. They made that non-negotiable, in addition to the extra playoff game for the AFC and NFC, which will feature 6 wildcard playoff games instead of 4 and only afford a single team in each conference a bye week. Only the teams in first place get it in the NFC and AFC, which this last season would have been the Ravens and 49ers. Now, players won't be suspended for smoking weed and will only be tested during a 2-week window before the season. It will only be a matter of time, though, before the first wide receiver blames smoking too much weed before the game on an early drop. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I was blazed out of my mind on that opening series and forgot the ball was coming to me. I tried a new strain and it hit hard, okay? It hit hard, and I didn't really understand that I was a person again until the second quarter of the game, at which point I went off for 88 yards and 2 tutties. So, am I gonna hit that strain next week? Shit, you bet I am. You bet I am, boss. Hi, I'm Brandon Perna, and I don't know what drugs do to you. This also makes Stephen A. Smith's catchphrase, "Couldn't stay off the weed," irrelevant. He can never say it again, and if he does, he owes me $1,000 every time he says, "Stay off the damn weed." Lay off the weed is the equivalent of Gangnam Style getting rickrolled, or the coronavirus being a hoax. My opinion, I would have been fine with the addition of an extra team in each conference getting into the playoffs if that meant no 17-game season. I really think it should have been one or the other. A 17-game season will not happen though until 2021, which should come with the reduction in the preseason. The expanded postseason though will happen this coming season. The minimum salaries will also increase by about 20% right now, which I think is like $100,000 a year, with $40,000 to $50,000 minimum salary raises every year after. I already covered that, and I really don't want to double check those boring ass numbers. Now, the overall player costs for 2020 will be $242.9 million per team, which includes benefits and performance-based pay, and the salary cap for 2020 will be $198.2 million. And as you can see from Field Yates' tweet, the NFL salary cap has risen about 10 to 12 million every year since 2014. Now, the interesting thing about the 17th game is that many believe the NFL is going to try and use that extra game to play more international games possibly, and or play games in new cities across the country to bring the NFL to more places. Their first stop, San Diego, for a Chargers-Raiders game, followed by a game in St. Louis between the Chiefs and Rams. Hey, San Diego and St. Louis, see, we added an extra game so you could attend one NFL game per year. That should make up for us robbing you of your football franchises. And I, of course, will not take this initiative seriously until they hold their first NFL game in Alaska, Juneau, Alaska. The 17th game is the main thing the NFL players did not want. Yes, they will get an increased revenue share going from 47 to 48.5% with the 17th game, but the NFL owners get way more. The NFL owners are giving up a tiny bit so they can see their profits grow a lot a bit, right? Adam Schefter projected that that would eventually take $5 billion in new money to the players' side of things. I don't know where that number comes from, but let's just say if the players are getting $5 billion in new money, the owners are gonna get $5 billion in new money, and the owners are splitting $5 billion in new money between 32 guys who are not having to play an extra game every season or not having to put their bodies on the line for that money, which is a much bigger pot for them. It's close to $160 million per NFL owner, or basically what Patrick Mahomes' next contract will be. To put it simply, NFL players will make more money, enough to keep buying $95,000 Bruce Lee necklaces like Kyler Murray. And NFL owners will make enough money to bring Bruce Lee back to life if they so choose. Now, the immediate effect of this approval that actually hinders teams or owners' maneuverability with free agency is that they can no longer use both the franchise and transition tag this offseason. The example Adam Schefter cited was with Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper. Both of those guys cannot be tagged right now. Whatever the Cowboys do, they're projected to not get it done until Monday, so if they tag either Dak or Amari, that will happen Monday. I think they might be able to get a long-term deal done with Dak Prescott, as Dak shares the same agent as Ryan Tannehill, so maybe they're waiting for that deal to get done to move on to Dak. Now, O.J. Simpson left us all with a very important message about coronavirus.
And me being the big man on campus in football and track, even though we sucked in football, we all love Chinese food. Order, takeout.
Thank you, OJ. An XFL player for the Seattle Dragons has tested positive for the coronavirus, which is just another piece to showcase how rapidly things are changing in Washington State. It is the worst affected state, with New York ready to pass them right now, but I think the pro leagues canceling when they did all showed a tiny bit of foresight. Obviously, maybe not as soon as they should have, but they worked faster than our government, so they should be applauded for that. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe here. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, @BrandonPerna.